Next question is from Cowboy Brewer, Channel All-Star. How much can a Wort grant help with efficiency on brew days? My old system had the mash tun hooked right to the pump, and I always noticed a gap along the outer edge. This is such a great question, Cowboy. And starting gravity readings were always off. The new system has a grant Wort a Wort grant included. Yeah, so imagine this. So you have your mash tun, and you have stainless steel piping that's going over to your kettle. If you have a grant, you go from your mash tun to a grant, another vessel, and then that Wort runs to the kettle or is pumped to the kettle, right? But if you remove that grant and you just have a line going to a pump and that's pushing straight over, and if at any point you create too much suction on that grain bed, that's why you had that leaning grain bed, Cowboy, that you mentioned before. It said, I always notice a gap along the outer edge. So you see this gap form. Sometimes it'll almost look like it's leaning, right? Because what you're having happen is you're having that sparge water hit the top, finding the path of least resistance, and is running down along the outside edge. So you only have a minimal, or you have less sparge water going through your grain bed, which is meant to be going through and rinsing the sugars through and into the kettle, right? But instead, you're channeling. And so you're just drawing water down along the side. You're still rinsing the grain bed, but not efficiently, because you just have straight water, sparge water going down the side. And you can hit different different efficiency numbers with that, right? And so that's the problem with just having the pump right there and not a grant, because you can start that pump up too fast and then compress a portion of the bed, the whole bed, and it can be a big mess. We're not even getting into a stuck mash here, which could also happen, or a stuck lauter. Yeah. So how much can a Wort grant help with my efficiency on brew days? So really what it's helping is let's reframe the language. It is helping with your efficiency, but it could be helping with not compacting or channeling your grain bed, right? So functionally, that's what's happening. And because you can do that, so you can if you're pumping too hard off of a grant, the grant just runs dry, right? And your pump runs dry, and then you have to reprime it or whatever. But it's not putting any vacuum on the bottom. What you're controlling, how you're controlling the Wort flow into the grant is by a valve. I'm assuming sometimes it's by a dial valve, like a fine touch dial valve. If you look at my brew day videos that I did at Cartridge, we had one of those really sweet, tight control dial ones. Very good stuff. You can have that, or you'll have a butterfly valve there or something. But so it's gravity only that you're driving that with that valve, right? So that's really what's happening with your setup, man. And so in that way, yes, it can help you stop running off too quickly through your grain bed and getting channeling and whatnot. So yes, you may be able to find that you're getting more consistent efficiency in using that grant. Yep. Thank you, Cowboy, for the question.